DCA getting a lot of love with the new expansion plans. But what about Disneyland? What about Tomorrowland? Join us as we'll talk about all of that and more as we take a complete tour around the park, every land and every attraction. This is our State of Disneyland report. This is Fresh Baked. Looks kind of quiet out there. Not quite as hectic as I was expecting. Hello guys, welcome back to our State of Disneyland report. I'm here on the top of the Main Street station, getting ready to begin. And we got a few things to talk about today. I'm gonna do my best not to get too deep into all the stuff that's happening over there at DCA, but we do have some ancillary conversations that can be happening. Let's get started. Let's do a little vibe check down Main Street. All right, let's go guys. Guys, we're just, wait, I'm just now realizing it is June 9th as I record this. We're 5 weeks away. 5 weeks away from those doors opening July 17th. I sure hope I'm not disappointed. It's a recurring fear thing that I have every single time there's any kind of event, be that just like a 70th or something like that. I always fear, I have this like, oh, is it gonna live up to my expectations, and am I gonna be able to cover it adequately or not? It's just every single time. So I'm having that sense about the 17th, but never mind that. Let's walk down Main Street. Overcast day, June gloom is in full effect. We are here on a Monday. It is presently 12:07 p.m. And it is what, 70, maybe low 70s right now. Very gloomy out. Actually, this is a little busier than what we saw at Town Square. This feels pretty intense, a little bit. And welcome again once more to this State of Disneyland report. I'm your host, David. And the objective of these reports, of this hour that you're going to spend here, which is probably going to be the best hour you're going to spend watching Disneyland. If you want to know what's happening at Disneyland today, right now, we're going to go to every land, every attraction. We're going to talk about what's happening, what's new, and there's things to talk about even here at Disneyland. Plus, there's stuff at DCA, which, like I said, we'll try not to get into the DCA stuff too much. This is a State of Disneyland report, after all. We'll look at all the attractions, we'll look at the queues and the crowds and all that, and do a little park science and just help make you a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more up to date on what's happening here at Disneyland. And this looks pretty busy, guys. Pretty darn busy right here as we approach.
Yes, there we go.
Oh, they nailed it. Now, if I would have guessed, I would have thought it would be less busy than what we're seeing right now. And the reason for that is the reservation calendar. So let's actually go back to the Main Street station and take a look at that reservation calendar and see what's happening around the parks today with respect to single day tickets and Magic Keys. We'll start with the single day ticket calendar. Today is tier 3, tier 4 really, if you count the 0, 1, 2, we're in the 4th tier, right in the middle, $164. So that right there tells me probably we're gonna see things on the quieter side today. I think that's gonna lead to maybe perhaps a slight percentage fewer guests in the park. We'll get into that further when we get to the reservation calendar and we started going through the park. Tickets are wide open. No sold out dates on the calendar that I can see. June and July are wide open, even today. We did see a today date sold out in our last update, which was kind of surprising, but this is more normal. Single day tickets are almost always available, readily available, no matter what, every single day. We'll take a look at the Inspire Key next. This is where it gets really fascinating. Not a single, am I reading that right? Not a single sold out date in June? We have Saturday the 14th, which is a DCA start. I mean, I know that they replenished the calendar again, maybe like a week or so ago, but it's been enough time for those days to start selling out, unless they replenish them a third time, which is just unusual. I don't remember if we had it like this in June, but I will say the first couple of weeks of June historically have always been pretty slow. That has been one of the least busy times of the year, period, across the whole calendar, and that includes January, February, and all that. So that is consistent with what I've observed in the past, although that's mostly pre-COVID. pre-reservation era. So I'm not sure if that's the same could apply here, but still, that's kind of shocking. July is a little bit less available, which is also surprising. We got DCA starts only for Wednesday and Friday the 2nd and the 4th and the 9th. What's going on those Wednesdays? I'm always curious when I see that. And then the 17th, that's the first day of the Walt Disney animatronic over here at the Main Street Opera House. That is sold out once again. They replenished them, they sold out. They replenished them again, they sold out again. So it's possible they could do it again, we'll see. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like that's the only sold out date completely. That's interesting. This is the most available that I've seen the reservation calendar in months. Especially because we're in the middle of the 70th anniversary now. We're in the run up to the 17th. Fascinating. Now this part of that is, though, could be, if we, this makes more sense now, Enchant Key, completely blocked. The Enchant Key is unable to attend the park for all of June. And that goes a long way towards leaving more spots available for Inspire and Believe key holders because they all work from the same bucket. All 4 annual passes pull their reservations from the same bucket. There's not a separate reservation bucket for each pass. So that actually answers that question in a sense. How that'll translate into crowds out there in the park, we'll find out. But my suspicion is that we're going to see something less busy, more chill than we saw 2 weeks ago when all passes were open. Let's go check it out. So the stage is set once more to find out what this park is like. Now, normally this is the point where I would bear left, curve around the hub, walk in front of the Sleeping Beauty Castle, pass by Frontierland, and go into Adventureland, start our show there. But we're turning right. Even though the camera's panning left, we're turning right and going into Tomorrowland instead because I want to open up this conversation about Tomorrowland. One of the side effects of the news that Disney broke, that we've already talked about twice. We did a whole walkthrough of all the things that are going to be happening at DCA in the coming years. Construction video covered that a little bit as well. I'm not going to do a third video on that, no. But one of the side effects of that conversation is that a lot of people are wondering, but what about Tomorrowland? Can you not, Disney? Can you not redo Tomorrowland? Is that not on your agenda? And I have to say, probably not. I have been told by more than one person that there is a plan for Tomorrowland, that they have schemed up things, they have concepts, they have ideas, and they full and complete, and this goes way back. There are plans, but I just don't think there's any urgency to it. And what you're seeing right now in frame is that reason. It is 12:12 in the afternoon, and this is probably the busiest, most hectic space you will find anywhere in the park right now. Tomorrowland is full. And by that I mean, there are lots of attractions here. You've got, let's see, just off the, we passed by Astro Orbiter, Star Tours, and Buzz Lightyear before we've even barely gotten into the land. Space Mountain, obviously, Autopia, the monorail, Finding Nemo. There's a lot to do here in Tomorrowland, and a reasonable sized space. There's a lot to do. It's a high capacity land right now. And there doesn't seem to be anything to slow that down. Just look at the Space Mountain is probably the most popular attraction in the park, even more so than Rise of the Resistance. It's easier to get on Rise these days than it is on Space Mountain. There's plenty to eat, plenty to do, plenty to see. Tomorrowland is thriving. And if I understand anything about Disney's current operational status, as of today, it's that they're not going to put any money into something unless it increases capacity. And by that I mean unless it allows them to sell more tickets. The way you sell more tickets, the way you're allowed to sell more tickets is by building more attractions, additional attractions, or in lieu of an additional one that has more capacity than what was there before. Tomorrowland is already, like I said, it's full. It's a max capacity type land as it is. So if they were to tear down this space, except for Space Mountain, that's not going anywhere. If they were to demo all this space and build something new, would it actually add capacity? For example, Tron. No, I don't really think so. I don't think Tron is not a high capacity attraction, as I understand it. And so what could they do to sell more tickets in the space? Not a lot. So I don't think it's reasonable, or I don't think it's likely that Disney's going to be in any big hurry to do that thing. I'm not sure what it'll take, but I think it's going to be a while before they make that step. It could be until they're done with Avatar and all that over at DCA. Doubling back to Astro Blasters, because we are doing a State of Disneyland report, which means we need to look at queues and the crowds and stuff like that as well while we do our little commentary bits. Posted 20 minutes here, and again, we are 12:15. That's a moderate sized queue in my opinion for Buzz Lightyear. That's definitely a go situation for me. If I were looking to go and stand by right now, I'd be definitely okay with this queue. It won't even be 20 minutes, and they're not using that extended portion down there over here. They're just going, I think, a little bit into the Pixie Hollow. Yeah, and that's not even full. They're only using a portion of it. They can send them all further down. This queue can grow a little bit, so this is not even at full capacity for that. By the way, Pixie Hollow, June 29th. That should be reopening June 29th. Astro Orbiter looks pretty standard right here. That's about how it always looks halfway through these switchbacks right there. Busy day it's to the left of this middle point. Slow day, it's to the right of that middle point. And right now it's at exactly where the average point is. Hi guys. Oh, it's Star Tours though. Now that's posted 40. There we go. That's a little something. Posted 40. I mean, this is a hard one to do recon on because you can't really see how quickly things are going there. We don't really know how many shuttles they have working, but that looks pretty full back there. I don't know if you can see it, but I can, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 switchbacks back there full of guests. So you're looking at a decent sized wait at Star Tours. By the way, that is a no-go for me at Star Tours. Let's go check out Space Mountain, where we've got a posted wait time of 45 minutes. Boy, you never see that.
Come here.
You never see a 45-minute post wait time. We usually check on Space Mountain at the end of our day, this at the beginning, so we might be seeing a little different experience.
They are.
But still, 45 minutes. Last few visits to Space Mountain, I want to say the last 3 has been absolutely, positively diabolical queues that I would never, ever get into. Absolute no-go situations. And does support the idea that Space Mountain is one of those attractions. You definitely, earlier the better. If you can't hit it at a rope drop, hit it at 9. If you can't hit it at 9, hit it at 10. But the longer you wait, the busier this queue gets. Right up until closing. I've waited an hour in this queue at closing. Look at that beauty. Oh, that makes me happy seeing that from any angle. From any place you are in the park, that mountain makes you happy. Or even outside the park, you can see it from the 5 freeway. Oh man, that's so cool. Ah, see, this is where we've been seeing queues out here. All 3 of these switchbacks would be full. This room would be full. This is the opportunity. It's just starting to get into the middle section. Section 1 is full. So you're looking at maybe 10 minutes for that. Probably 10 minutes in this room. Another 7 or 8 out here. Maybe less, maybe 6, depending on how fluid things are going, depending on Lightning Lane, how many guests are making that turn into Lightning Lane over there. But this is as good a scene as I have found in a very long time at Space Mountain at 12:21. That, my friends, is a go situation for Space Mountain. So assuming Space Mountain stays on whatever remodel they plan for Tomorrowland, do you think that Disney would be trying to reskin these attractions as a remodel, or do you think they would tear them down and build something new? Like, for example, that space, you could probably put something there. Something dark ride sized, I think you could put in that space there. Autopia, people want to tear that down. I disagree with that 100%. Same thing with Finding Nemo. I will say that as far as that conversation goes regarding capacity, neither one of those, Nemo or Autopia, are particularly high capacity attractions, especially considering the amount of space they use. But what concerns me is the way that they have to build attractions nowadays. Everything is so big. When's the last time you've seen Disney build a modest size anything, even if it's not an e-ticket? Like, seriously, when? Ever? I mean, the last, 5-10 years? They haven't. They can't. It's impossible. Building codes won't allow it. Let's actually do a drive-by real quick at Galactic Grill. Part of these sessions, I try to stop by quick service locations and see how busy they are. It is 12:26 right now. And by the way, I'm doing things. Okay, this actually doesn't look too bad. Obviously, mobile order pickup is fine, but this is just you're looking at maybe 10-minute wait right there. At 12:26, that's not bad. I'm doing things backwards, I'm doing things out of order, so I find myself doing things incorrectly compared to our usual routine of things on these State of Disney reports. I'm very much out of my comfort zone right now. I hope it doesn't show. I hope it's not ruining this experience. But we gotta keep moving. I got more to talk about on that other subject, but let's go check out Autopia next. Looks like we've got a 15-minute posted wait time. 4 lanes of traffic. Just a tiny sliver of guests up there on the risers. That's lightning lane in the foreground, and then 1 row of standby behind that, and they are going around the rotunda. So that is 15 minutes. This is about how we normally find it, but that's pretty good for this time of day, for 12:26. Do not take Autopia. With whatever you do, Disney, do not take Autopia. Hi guys, how are you? I know some people think it's a waste of space.
Mary, you want to ride with me?
But I feel like it's an integral part of Disneyland as an aesthetic. It separates itself. Every year that goes by, Disneyland separates itself as a park unlike any other. And I think it should lean into that. I think Disney should lean into the fact that Disneyland is like no other park in ways that are exactly the way that we like. Disney fans, especially Disneyland fans, we like the nostalgia, we like the vintage. That's why I kind of love Magic Kingdom. I'm going to say I love Magic Kingdom because they're stuck in the 70s, but I get it. But I think that Autopia is absolutely integral to whatever future Disney has here in Disneyland. Let's check out the submarines. Looking pretty quiet right here. My goodness, 12 o'clock is the time to be. It says it's 20 minutes, but it may not even be that. Where these guests are going, that's about 2 subs worth. That's 2 subs worth. In the rotation on that, if they're running both sides, it's maybe 4 or 5 minutes in between, I think. God, I can't remember now. I gotta log this. I gotta get back to the newsletter and dice that out. But top side 7 minutes, I think. So you're looking at most 15 for Finding Nemo right now. Looks like they're growing the queue a little bit. So things are starting to pick up. We'll probably see that when we get to doing the tip board later on this afternoon. We'll see, I think the wait times are probably going to increase incrementally the further we get along into this day. Leaving Tomorrowland into Fantasyland, which transitions here at the Matterhorn. It's closed right now for a refurb. And every time they do this, every time the Matterhorn goes down for a refurb, people wonder, like, is the Matterhorn in any kind of, like, what's going on? You know, it sucks that they have to keep closing it in order to refurb it, in order to keep it up to date. Why don't they just rebuild it? If it's such an old and sort of falling apart type attraction, why don't they just rebuild it? We've had that conversation, and they say you can't. I'll just say, just briefly speaking, look at this scene right here. Modern building codes would require them to build the base out a little bit further in order to make it structurally safe for earthquakes, right? So they'd have to grow it out by another, I think it's like maybe 10 to 20 feet all around its perimeter, which puts us out here, right? So now you have no path. Now you have to start digging into the lagoon on this side, and over there next to Alice in Wonderland and the Tomorrowland space behind us. This space is already completely maxed out. It is as wide as it can possibly be already. They don't have any more feet, any more footage to make a bigger mountain. And that's basically the TLDR of the Matterhorn story. But let's just say Disney did decide to redo Tomorrowland. Oh, there we go. The monorail. Let's just say Disney did decide to redo the Tomorrowland. That actually is your opportunity now. If they decide they want to build a new Tomorrowland 3 or 4.0, I don't even know what number they're on, then maybe you have the opportunity to demo the mountain and not just make it 10 feet wider, but take both sides, take all of it to this side and bring it out a little bit, maybe 20 feet wider, and bring it out of this space, and that means you're going to demo all of the Nemo Lagoon, or maybe not demo, maybe just grow it out here a little bit. It would actually interrupt the track right here. Take this thing 20 feet, and you got to create another 10 feet of path. Just add 10 or 20 feet to this space right here, and you're into the track. the submarine track. So the only way you could actually rebuild the Matterhorn and the People Mover while we're at it is if you completely redo Tomorrowland. I would say like a 90% rebuild. That is not something you do lightly though. Hi, good morning. You do not do that lightly. It's a huge capital expense. It's going to shut down an entire land that brings in tons of guests. How do you close Tomorrowland? Are you kidding me? An entire land? You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't close Tomorrowland. You just can't. So it's just not something you just do. You don't say, you know what, Tomorrowland sucks, let's build a new one. It's not that easy. And then, especially when you consider it's already a thriving land, as we mentioned, especially when you consider it's actually providing what guests like. It's now retro, it's old school, it's vintage or whatever, and I love that. It's why when we made that video, we said you might as well just leave it. I think this is as good as it gets. I think that's as good as Tomorrowland gets. It's controversial. It doesn't make sense, but when you think about it critically, it does. Let's continue our report. We're into Fantasyland. We're also about 5 weeks away from the new music at Small World. The same day they premiere the new animatronic at the Main Street Opera House, they're going to premiere the new verse, the final verse here at Small World. I thought about maybe jumping in this queue, but I think we're leaning towards the park being busy as opposed to not so far, even though Space Mountain was a go. For Small World, that sign says 35 minutes, and that is supported by the queue that we're seeing. This thing is almost full. Incredible. That is so great. I love to see this. Nothing makes me happier as the lover of Disneyland that I am, and the kind of Disneyland fan that I am. Nothing makes me happier than seeing old attractions, old analog 2D attractions getting this much love. This queue is packed. It's not even a holiday. There's nothing happening here today. It's a random Monday in the middle of June, or the beginning of June, and there's a 35-minute wait for Small World. An attraction that is, like I said, there's nothing new or up to date or fashionable about it. And yet people want it to, like, oh no, I want something new. I want Tron, or I say this over and over again, and I'm telling you, people don't know what they want. They really don't. But I know what I want. I want that. I want classic, vintage, Small World. You can give me the lights though at Christmas. I'll take that too. But that absolutely warms my heart to see this much attention, this much demand for Small World. Toontown is next. I finally got to ride Roger Rabbit the other day. I don't know if I put that video out yet, but we did an early entry day. Here we were hosted by GetAwayToday, our travel affiliate. I have no shame in saying, if you are looking to book a trip to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, a cruise, Universal, or what have you, use our travel affiliate, GetAwayToday. There's a link in the description. Every time you do, helps them, helps you, and helps us. It's a win-win all around, and they're great people. They're really nice and really knowledgeable. I love GetAwayToday. We spent a couple days here hosted by them. We did early entry. We're at the Grand Californian. Those videos should be coming out soon if they're not already. And we had Lightning Lane, and I finally got to ride Roger Rabbit. That's the story. And that's a story because every single time I come through here, Roger Rabbit is a turnaround and runaway type situation with the queue. It's posted 30 minutes, which is, pretty good. 30 minutes, huh? Let's find out. We usually can't get past the prop room. So far, so good. This is where I start getting nervous. Yep, nope. Okay, there's a queue back there. The prop room is still in our cell. Oh my gosh. This is the furthest we've gotten. Oh my gosh. Are we in the... Oh, there it is. Okay. What is this, Baby Herman? I forget his name. So we found the back of the queue. I'm not getting in this queue, but that is a go situation right there. I would absolutely recommend getting in that queue. That's the first time in I don't know how many months that I've been able to walk into a queue. But it has to do with the time we're getting here. Is it 1 o'clock? It's 12:54. It absolutely is that. And because normally we're here at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The situation is much different. We're going to find out when we get to looking at the tip board again how true that is. I mean, Toontown sure does look like it's bonkers right now. I'll be willing to bet we're going to have a similar situation over here at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. No queue outside. Oh my gosh. 20 minutes. It's so weird. How is it possible that this is 20 minutes?
Okay.
When A, Small World is 35, and 2, I found the back of the queue already. There's no way. Unless they're not using parts of it. I'm very curious. That is fascinating. Hilarious. I'm walking out and the guy, the cast member's like, I need 20 minutes. No, I don't think so. Everybody just showed up. He said it's pretty full in there. They'll have to adjust the wait time again. But that's what happens is you see that 20 minutes, everybody's like, oh my God, Runaway Railway is 20 minutes. We got to get moving. Let's go. Let's go. And then they just rush the queue. And it doesn't take very long. By the time I come back around, I'll bet you anything, by the time I come back around, they will have adjusted some of the chains inside the queue. They will have gotten everybody in there. Hey guys, how are you? They will have gotten everybody into the queue proper. What's up? What's up? And then they will have adjusted the wait time. So all that'll happen. The queue will look shorter, but they will have added minutes to the wait time. I'm almost positive by the time we come back around. And that takes us to Minnie's house, 20 minutes. Probably. Mickey's house, 30 minutes. I have no idea. You have to go in there and find out. You know what? Let's do that. Let's just see. 12:57. Let's just see how quickly we can walk. Oh, okay. We found maybe not a back of the queue, but just a slow-moving one. I don't know what's happening there, but oh yeah, dead in here. We're gonna get all the way in, right? We're gonna go see some chickens. What's up, chickens? Bark, bark. We're gonna hang a left. Oh, well, not all the way. I thought we'd walk in, but this is actually kind of surprising. This is a decent wait. This is a 30-minute wait, I think, because there's this plus the next room, the screening room. It's actually backed up to the point where I'm not sure if I should go back the way I came or if I should try to wait and go through the early exit there. I turned back the way I came. Now we're back out here in Toontown. Gadgets is closed, so there's no recon necessary there. That's going to be opening up, I think, on Friday, question mark? I think on Friday. All right, let's see if my queue radar is accurate. We're about ready to go into or go back to Runaway Railway, and I can see already that I'm wrong on at least one point. Not it likely that they would have processed that queue and grew it a little bit inside, but people are still coming. But this will stop because they have updated the posted wait time to 45 minutes. So they did one of the two things I thought. I thought they might have a good shot at reducing this, but maybe the queue was a little more full in there than I thought it might be. But if we were to stay here and observe this, we would note that the 45 minutes posted wait time is now probably a reasonable enough excuse for guests to not get in this queue and to go get into Roger Rabbit instead, perhaps. And then we'll see the back of this queue get inside into the proper building. The reason why I assume that is because the park does not feel so busy as for that to keep growing. I feel like the park is not quite busy enough for that, and that it won't take long for that queue to get processed a little bit. Matter of fact, let's see, it is 1:02. I'm gonna stand by. Yep, sure enough, 4 minutes later, 1:06, and the back of the queue is actually further into the queue than when we saw it when it was at 20. They processed that real quick. Well done. And it just goes to show that it doesn't take a lot. Things can happen quickly. The appearances of a queue can change dramatically in just a few minutes, and it's hard to tell which is correct without going in there and actually looking at the back of the queue. You have to find the back of the queue. You have to do a little bit of math. or at least just make some estimations. But walking into that situation, you just know that's not a 20-minute queue. Now, it's okay if you get in it still, because it's fine. It's fine. Just set your expectations. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not 20 minutes. Don't be upset if it's not 20 minutes because they haven't caught up yet. And they did catch up. It only happened, it took like 3 or 4 minutes for them to catch up. And again here. So it's just, at least get you in the right mindset that you're not disappointed, I guess is what I'm saying. Also saying that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is one of my top 3 favorite attractions in the entire park and is absolutely worth a 45-minute wait. And it probably won't be 45 minutes anyway because it's very efficient, it moves quickly, it's very enjoyable. Just get in that queue and have fun. Further into Fantasyland, look at Storybook Land. What time is it? 1:09. It's 1:09. Do they have all the boats in? I cannot believe that's just like 2 boats right there. Starting the clock. We're gonna go on a ride, Fresh Babe.
Ride a boat?
3 minutes, 4 minutes, and I'm pretty sure that's our boat. 4 minutes.
And away we go. Hello, welcome to our journey to the Storybook Land. My name is CW, your captain at Storybook. Now, most people travel to Enchanted World, travel through the pages of the so for those who visit in person, weather. And as we turn this corner, we are going to find the quaint village called Alice from Alice in Wonderland. From there. If that's not your cup of tea, there's still more magical places here.
The ducky?
And love and magic bloom everywhere here in Storybook Land. You can hit the roses. And turning the page to our left is the Blue Roof Chateau, home to Princess Cinderella. And inspired many of the stories we told you today. But unfortunately, guys, it's the end to our story, and as we put the dock mask, guys, are remaining to your hands are 10 fingers inside the boat at all times.
Absolutely perfect sidebar. I never get to ride Storybook Land in the middle of these shows because, by the time we get here, the wait's always so bad. I only ever do like the shorter ones, but good golly, Storybook Land is amazing. And the Casey Jr., we're running 2 trains, still, great news. Casey Jr. showing up on the tracks all around absolutely makes that ride, in my opinion. Okay, so teacups, look at this. No waiting. Everybody's getting on the next teacup. Everybody that's in your frame right now, they're all getting in the next teacup. But Alice is certainly at full capacity right now. This is what we normally see. Interesting how some attractions are getting hit and others are not. But that's going to be 20 minutes right there probably for Alice. Luckily it's not out here. There goes a monorail. Try to imagine right now as I'm walking into this space with the monorail passing over, if the Matterhorn were 20 feet wider at the base, 10 feet wider even, it would probably reach about here. And so that means it would occupy about half of this space. It would occupy half of this walking path, which, I mean, it's accessible, but it would be very, very narrow, very uncomfortable. That's why I was saying before that if you do it on the Tomorrow, if you do all the footage, if you do all the size increase on that side of the mountain towards Tomorrowland, then you don't have to narrow Fantasyland. You simply cannot grow Matterhorn any further out into this space. This thing is maxed out. Fantasyland is maxed out. Now, if you were listening on our Storybook Land tour, there was some recon being done already. There was a guest looking at the tip board. 35 minutes for Dumbo, as was reported in that, and it looks to be about 35 minutes. That's certainly not the ideal queue to be getting into for Dumbo. Toads looks good. Looking at 15 over there, posted 20, 25, but that's more like a 15-minute queue probably. Look at that. Wow. Do you guys feel that space right here? Do you feel that? You hardly ever get this. But then again, we're flipping. I'm curious to see what Adventureland and Frontierland look like at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock when we get done with this. Look at Peter Pan. Is it even open? What the what? 1, 2, 3, 4 chains open here, both chains open there. Not going into Merlin's. That is incredible. That's a 15 or 20 minute wait there. Unbelievable. Yeah, it says 20 right there. It's posted. I'm so tempted, but we just got in the queue for Storybook Land. If we hadn't done that, I'd have gotten in this. I've measured each of these. I don't have the data handy, but I've measured each of these chains, each of these switchbacks, and you could add it all up. We're gonna do that someday, trust me. But I'm gonna say 7, and then 7 more, and then 5. So you're looking at 20, yeah. You're looking at 20. Kind of surprising, but then that's also what we predicted. We suggested could be happening is because there's no enchants in the park today. There are no enchant keys in the park, just Inspire and Believe, and then single day ticket holders. I wonder what the percentage is. A third, a half of magic keys in here? How many of these guests are single day ticket holders or multi-day ticket holders? And how many are magic key holders? I wonder. But we're seeing a mix. It's like I can't quite find a balance. It feels dense in some places, really, really busy in some places. But then you see queues like this at Peter Pan. This is a locals attraction, by the way, I think, Peter Pan. Peter Pan is a locals attraction, not an attraction that is often in demand by out-of-town guests. I don't think. I could be wrong. That's just my own logic brain thinking. Meanwhile, Snow White is also dead. That's 3 minutes per switchback probably right there. So you're looking at 9 minutes total. Looks like the back of the queue is right there at the dungeon, and they're calling it 10. It's probably about right. Unbelievable. It is dead here in Fantasyland. This is really surprising. And I say that because often it is the case that Fantasyland is the same. Always. It's just pretty much always the same. Busy or slow, you kind of get the same result here. Pinocchio, right there at the threshold. That's probably 10 or 15 minutes, 10 probably. Oh, now it's people showed up. Where did these guys come from? Did the carousel just empty? I think it did, actually. Empty horses. Kind of quiet. I'm tempted to, you know what? I was just gonna say, I'm tempted to go into the Red Rose Tavern just to see what the standby queue is. There's no reason why we can't, right? Let's go. I'm gonna say no standby. No standby. A little bit of standby. 4 guests. Yeah, it's not bad at all. No waiting for mobile order. And how about tables? Are there tables? I see no tables over there. There's one right here. I see one back there, maybe another one in the rear. And then, oh yeah, definitely, there's a table here. So there are tables. This means it's not that busy in here, because normally Red Rose is, on a busy day, it is packed 100%, no occupancy at Red Rose on a busy day. And then it even gets, you have to start sitting out here in the sun, but there's lots of tables out here too. So not bad at all. And now I'm officially hungry. So we're gonna go to Docking Bay 7, place a mobile order over there in Galaxy's Edge for the tip yip. That's something that's on the menu all the time, but I don't think I've ever reviewed it. We're gonna find out how close the chicken in Docking Bay 7 is to, let's say, the Plaza or Flo's. Docking Bay 7 it is for the Endorian fried chicken tip yip. It used to be, when they first opened Galaxy's Edge in Docking Bay, they were like, no, we're gonna stay totally in the universe. We're not gonna use, we're gonna use in the universe names. So they just called it the tip yip. And you had to know that tip yip meant chicken, but I guess people couldn't quite make the connection. So they put the words fried chicken in there also with the tip yip, but that's what tip yip is. So what we're eating is Endorian fried chicken. I guess. You can choose that with either macaroni and cheese or vegetable mashed potatoes. We got the vegetable mashed potatoes. So it's described as crispy chicken, roasted pepper mash, Country gravy. That is those are the two words that got me to order this today, was country gravy. I was on the fence about this or something else. I was almost going to order, there's another new dish here, but I love country gravy. And then charred broccolini. So let's go. By first account, I will say it's not the same serving size as you get at Flo's. Flo's gives you 3 pieces of fried chicken. It's a drumstick and a breast and usually some other thing, I think, right? It's been a minute. It's also on the bone. This appears to be boneless. I'm not getting any sense of bone in here. I can just separate that. So there is a difference. This is not the same thing as what you might get at Flo's V8 Cafe or at, Flo's V8 or at Plaza Inn. I am excited about the fact that I have already inadvertently added some of that country gravy to this fried chicken, so I'm really curious. So right away the experience is different because you're eating it like you would a regular piece of fried chicken on the bone, but it is boneless. So that experience is different. And I had a difficulty separating it because of there was a little bit like tendon or fattiness. But overall, the chicken tastes okay. I mean, yeah, it's okay. The country gravy, that was pretty good though. I enjoyed that. Let me try that again. Yeah, a little fatty. As far as, the crispiness of this, on the KFC version, this is more like original recipe. I like extra crispy myself, so this is not my favorite in that regard as well. Again, it still tastes good. It's enjoyable fried chicken, but I prefer it a little more crispy. This is kind of tender, almost chewy. Yeah, not even the chicken and the skin. Before we get into the mash, I'll show you a little bit of that gravy there. That's the country gravy that everything is resting in. So hopefully it's enough that we can get some of the chicken and the mash and the broccolini into that country gravy because it makes everything better. Speaking of, we'll get into the mashed potatoes. What are they calling this again? Roasted pepper mash. That is quite good. That is quite good. I mean, it's not a great leap from regular mashed potatoes, but that little hint is enough to separate it from perhaps average potatoes. I'm really enjoying that. That's quite good. Broccolini next. It's broccolini. It's fine. They haven't invented anything new there. It's good. Try it again. No, it's not bad. That bite was a little bit better than the first one. Try the pepper mash again. There is a texture, actually, to the pepper mash. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see there's perhaps little bits of probably actual pepper. It's a little bit of crunch. It could actually be some of the fried chicken skin. I'm not sure, but there is a texture to that. There's a little crunch in there, and not in a bad way. That's really good. I'm really enjoying that. Let's get back to that chicken. It's been sitting in that gravy now. I just had to try to take a bite of that bigger piece, and it didn't go very well. Because of the fatty nature of it, it was hard to separate it. And so it's kind of a mess. It tastes okay, but just a little too fatty. So the price point on this one is $15.99. Actually, if you want a smaller piece and you want mac and cheese, still, there's a kids meal. It's the same thing, I think. And the kids meal, I think, is like $10. Let me see here. Yeah, there's a youngling meal for $10.99. And it looks like a fairly good size. You get broccoli and mac and cheese, not bad. But at $15.99, that's a little pricey, I think, for fried chicken of this quality. Comparing it to the price point, if I go to Plaza, let's see. I think Plaza's $19.99. Plaza is $19.99, but you're getting, actually, I kind of feel like that's almost too much in the sense that I never finish the chicken at Plaza. I never eat all 3 pieces or finish my meal there. So the price is kind of favorable in that sense. But at $15.99, I don't know, it's pretty good. I guess that's fine because you are getting the mashed potatoes, which aren't astounding, and you are getting broccoli, which is nice because you don't often get a proper vegetable at Disneyland. You're usually getting, you know, fries or something like that. All in, I'm thinking I'm pretty happy with this. 4.5 out of 5, I think. The only downside is the chewy part, you know, with the chicken, with the mashed potatoes and the gravy are outstanding. And even the broccolini is quite good, and I'm not a vegetable guy. Cheers, Fresh Bake. And now, let's get into that tip board. All right, Alice in Wonderland 30, Astro Orbiter 25, both standard, Autopia 15, standard. That's kind of light, actually. We're now at 2:19 p.m., by the way, as I record this, which is, I'll say it's about the same time, because we're just going in reverse, but it's in the middle, so it's about the same time as we would normally record this. Maybe even a little later. Big Thunder 35, nice. 4:20 return time, that's 2 hours. Buzz is 15. Return time of now. Dumbo is down to 15 from 35. Nemo 25 has barely got Haunted Mansion. 25 minutes and a return time of almost now. That's startling. Indiana Jones 45. I mean, this thing is like, there's just no way of knowing for sure what Indy's going to be like on a given day. We'll see. We still haven't got there yet. Normally we'll have been there by now. Small World went down from 35 to 10. Jungle Cruise 20, but we got some rides to do. Runaway Railways down to 25. It was 20, 45, now 25. 2 hours, 2.5 hour return time. Smuggler's Run 25, we got to check that out still. Toads 20, Peter Pan 30. That was actually light when we walked by there before. And then Pirates at 25. This is not a busy day. Even Roger Rabbit at 45 minutes, I'll bet you it's not that bad. Space Mountain 55, but that's one. Just like India and Space Mountain, you can always count on those two. You can always count on those two being like above the standard. And Star Tours is still at 35. What's going on at Star Tours? Why the sudden, maybe it's because they stopped putting Ahsoka and the space whales in there. People are like, okay, I'll go back again. Rise is at 65. That's pretty standard. And Storybook is 10, yeah. So there you go, that's it. Tiana's, I'm sorry. Tiana's 55. So there's 3. Those, yeah, that makes sense. Tiana's, Space, and India are gonna be busy no matter what. And then Rise, obviously, a little bit there. But everything else besides those top attractions is below normal. Fascinating. And we don't even have the Matterhorn. Take care. Let's go take a look at Millennium Falcon. Big crowd out here for Chewbacca. Is he fixing the Falcon? Looks like it. There he is. Post the 25. Let's go check. Maybe we'll wave at Chewbacca on the way. We should be able to see him as we come around the other side. Oh, we got his backside now. Chewbacca's so cool. He's so cool. Nobody up there. Looks pretty open. No guests to speak of in Lightning Lane. That's great, but we did find it back the queue. It's just up there on that other catwalk there. Looks like how far? Yeah, that's the backyard here. So that's with nothing in Lightning Lane. There's zero activity in here. I can't see anything going on over there at all. Nobody coming up. I don't see anybody. I don't see the back of the queue. That's a go. That's one of the best looking queues I've seen at Millennium Falcon in quite some time. Looks like we're gonna have to do Rise in reverse. Usually this is the last thing we check. Not much happening there in Lightning Lane. Couple of guests, that's it. 2. Posted at 40. Oh, that says 90. I thought that said 40 at first. No, that says 90. I was gonna say that queue back there that I'm about to walk into does not look like a 40-minute queue. Yeah, that's a solid looking queue right there. That's section 1, and they look to be a little stagnant. Looks a little sticky, not a lot of movement in there in section 2 and section 3. They're just reached the end of section 3 over here. So section 4 is still not being used, but that is probably gonna be at least 60 minutes for these guests right there. So that's something to keep in mind, by the way. When you come to the park and you know, or you believe it's gonna be, you think it's gonna be a slow day, and it very well could be. This is, by all accounts, a slow day at the park. Not too busy, but understand and know that even when that happens, the big attractions, the big 4 or 5 attractions are still gonna pull their share of guests, more their usual share of guests. So that's Rise of the Resistance, Tiana's Bayou Adventure right here, 55 minutes. Then you can add Indiana Jones, Space Mountain, and then mix in the Matterhorn in that 5 as well when it's open. But those 5 attractions are always going to be busy, no matter how not busy the rest of the park is. 55-minute posted, by the way, for Tiana's right here is so far looking fairly accurate. We're using some of the garden back there. They're not out here, which is good, I guess. Really, where you really want to be checking is back in Extended 1 and Extended 2. The more you watch Fresh Baked, the more you will discover little like Extended 1, Extended 2 type. You'll see me refer to these spaces, and you'll get accustomed to that. When I say Extended 1 and Extended 2, that's Extended 1. And this would be where Extended 2 normally is, but you see they got stanchion markings down here. They have not added Extended 2, so that's great, that's good. That means you can expect a less of a normal wait. If there's a queue out here, this is about 7 or 8 minutes probably. That's about 7 or 8 minutes probably. So being that there's no Extended 2 back there, that's a good sign that it's not as busy as it could be. Although it is still busy. Reminds me, I need to get back up to date. What is going on with Winnie the Pooh? What is going on? Every time I come here, it's down. Every single time I come here, it's like I don't understand. I never noticed it before. It was never a problem, but ever since they closed it as part of the remodel for Bayou Country, ever since it's reopened, I should say, it has been the most unreliable attraction in the park, I feel like. I need somebody to tell me what's happening with Winnie the Pooh. Like, every day, I'm gonna have to go look at some historical, hey guys, I'm gonna have to go look at some historical wait times and see how often she's going down on a daily basis, but it just seems like every time I come through here, Winnie the Pooh is down. But I was saying, I need to get back to the newsletter. I have not been able to put out very many newsletters because my attentions have been spread in other directions. Hi guys, how are you? My attentions have been spread out to other projects, mainly, what is this? Mainly Florida, that's still a thing, but look at this. A box has appeared on this path connecting Bayou Country to New Orleans Square. A box has appeared. Probably the usual nothing. But whenever I see something, my head just explodes a little bit, trying to figure out what they're doing. Anyway, getting back to the newsletter, I did some recon last week, or earlier this week, last week. And I guess a couple things that I want to share with you guys. So if you haven't already joined the newsletter, do so. There's a link in the description. And then I should hopefully have some new stuff out there on that in the next few days. And that is the Haunted Mansion. We saw it at what, 25 minutes? When we were looking at the tip board. That's pretty standard right there. That is, I mean, that's probably 25 minutes to the door from there. But, oh, are they turning? They're not even going. They're coming in and they're doing that little stretch right there, and then they're going right into, oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Are they not going in there? They're not, are they? Oh, I see. Okay, they got that. This whole stretch is filled. Okay, that's interesting. They're just not going into Leota's garden back there. Yeah, so no Leota's garden and no greenhouse, but they are using that lane back there. it is often the case where they actually block that section and put that into the garden. But today, for some reason, they're using that section and not the garden. In either case, the key thing there is that they're not using the greenhouse and they're not using some other section of the attraction, so that makes your wait time considerably less. I saw when I walked by there, it was posted at 30 minutes now. It was at 25. That's still that's a go. Absolute go. By the way, you guys, I was doing some date math. We forget, we lose track. Do you know what's happening? The Haunted Mansion is going to close in exactly 2 months from today. The Haunted Mansion will close 2 months from today to get ready for the Halloween season starting on August, I think 22nd, question mark? And 2 weeks prior to that, they'll close the attraction to put in the Nightmare overlay. That's just 2 months from now. 2 months. Things are getting hectic out here in front. I see the 30-minute queue has brought some guests because to my right there, that's all standby. Standby has now escaped the threshold, which means they're going to have to start putting people into Leota's garden. It's too late, man. Sometimes it's just too late. And sure enough, that looks to be exactly what they've done. Guests are now making a left as they take that switch back on the side over there, and they come around here. They're going to make a left into Leota's garden, probably making a right out of there into the comeback towards the main queue. They probably will not open up the greenhouse yet. They just need to get the guests out of the street as they were here and into the threshold. I mean, what would you do if you saw 25 or 30 minutes on the app? Is that for you? Is that a reason to go to Haunted Mansion? Is that a call to action? I think it is. I think it is. That's a bargain. 30 minutes for Haunted Mansion is a bargain. Really, any attraction, in my opinion, is good to go at 30 minutes, I think. Look at that. There goes the man. And how long has it been since we've seen the Columbia on the water on a Monday? It has been a minute. Thank goodness she's back. That's great. There's the Mark Twain again. Love seeing a full river. I think there's some Davy Crockett canoes out here somewhere as well. That's fantastic. That's old school at Disneyland right there, guys. That's the way it should be. And I don't think our Mark Twain or our river is going anywhere anytime soon. We'll be there. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but we will be there in Florida at Magic Kingdom for the final voyage, or one of the final voyages, I guess. We may or not be there for the actual last one. We'll be there that day. I'm going to be at the Magic Kingdom on July 6th for a trip around the river on the Liberty Bell. Probably going to go to Tom Sawyer Island. Then I'll be there the next day as well to test out the new train route. They're going back and forth from Main Street to Fantasyland. They're not doing a full circle tour. They're just going to go back and forth between Main Street and Fantasyland. It's going to be fascinating, really trippy. Anyway, let's get back to Disneyland. Pirates is a very smooth 30 minutes right now. I say smooth because you don't see a lot of density right there. Things look to be moving pretty well. Let's see, it looks like the queue is just reaching the point where it crosses over from this side, from the Pirate side, over to the Tiana's and Cafe Orleans side, the proper New Orleans Square side. If you make a U-turn there, if you're going right around there, that's an automatic go. Don't even trip. Automatic go situation. If you see the queue, just turning around that lamp right there, no matter what you see anywhere else. I mean, just look at that. Isn't that the most beautiful thing when you see movement like this all over the queue? Oh my gosh, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Did I not? I don't know, man. But I love seeing a queue. This is the power of Pirates, in spite of the fact that they've got Lightning Lane, which is still a thing. This is the power of Pirates. Same thing for Small World. The queue just moves like this. It's like butter. I love it. We got to find more ways to build queues, build attractions that use that ride system. The boats, the Coco ride coming up. We talked about that in the DCA stuff. The Coco ride is going to be something like that, I believe. It's going to be Pirates or Small World, or even maybe what's that one? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank at Epcot. I'll take that too. I would literally take that ride and bring that over here. I can't think of the name of it. What's wrong with me? I'm sure I'll get advised in the comments. Here's Indiana Jones, posted at 50. But again, I'm not feeling a lot of like what do you call it, density here. We just kind of walked through the space out there. Very quiet out there in the walkway, which is rare for Adventureland. Let's just go take a look at the back of the queue real quick. Well, it's full-ish back here. Not all the way to the bottles. This is a point of demarcation for me. When I see the back of the queue in this spot right here, I know that that's a really busy day, but it's not all the way out there. So it's busy, but it's certainly not 50 minutes. I'd call this a 35-minute queue, perhaps, maybe 40. But this too is also moving. Look at that movement up there on the ramp. Those guests coming in, there's no lightning lane on that ramp right now. So this queue is going to be moving pretty briskly. But this is the point where I had a near heart attack 2 weeks ago when I walked through here in Adventureland. When I saw the queue for Indy and Jungle Cruise, it was scary. This is the effect, though. This is the power of the Magic Key. Enchant keys and Imagine keys are both blocked out for a couple of months, so we're not getting anywhere near the insanity. And it is, we're prime time right now. This is peak Disneyland time right now. 3 o'clock, 2:54 technically. That's peak time to be at Disneyland. This is where the queues are usually at their max. Jungle Cruise is at 15 minutes. They're using just the left side, not the right side. And things look pretty quiet down here. Very chill day going on right now at Jungle Cruise. And they're not selling Enchant or Imagine keys presently. Those are the only ones. They did restart sales a couple weeks ago, but only for Inspire and Believe. They want you to buy those higher. That makes sense to me. They want you to buy the higher ticket key, I think. I feel like Enchant and Imagine, those are probably the most popular keys, I think, that Disney sells, because it's the best value. But I don't know. They don't get. Personally, I don't know. I could not survive on an Enchant key or an Inspire key. I mean, Magic key. I could never survive on that. Being blocked out for the whole 2 months, no summer, no weekends. Oh gosh, I don't know how you guys do it. And then there's Tiki Room, still closed, still under refurb. We don't have a date yet, but they do seem to be getting close. They took down those scrims as we talked about in our construction report, and I'm almost positive they raised that tree a little bit. Tangaroa looks a little higher to me, so they're gonna bring back that action with the flowering, whatever, could fall down on guests again. Man, this is so weird doing this report in reverse. I just ended. No, I'm not over yet. I still got to go to Frontierland, but I nearly ended at Tiki Room. I am tripping out. It has been wild. Although I will say that the crowds almost seem less now at 3 p.m. Is it right? 3? Almost 3 o'clock. It's 2:57. The crowds almost seem lighter now than they were when we started this show just after 11. Fascinating. That is unusual. Well, actually, I take that back. That's a little more usual than it used to be. Sometimes I get stuck in pre-COVID, pre-reservation era, where the park would get progressively more and more busy as the day went on. People coming in from work or school or stuff like that. But now it's the opposite. I feel like maybe, yeah. Ending the show here in Frontierland for Big Thunder. That looks busy right there, though. Wow, that looks like every little section is full of guests. And what we've got is a 45-minute wait here at the threshold. Good sign here that they're not using any of this. It looks bad back there, but over here it's not so bad. Just the one lane coming in. That's pretty good. So 45 minutes is probably accurate. It may even be less than that. And that is our Disneyland day today. That is our State of Disneyland for today. I want to say it's unusual, but I also would say that we should have seen this coming. As I mentioned at the opening of the show, June is typically a month where it's light crowd. I mean, for the whole year, you could see light crowds in June. So not surprised that we've got this at the end of the day today. Good time to come to the park. I hope you guys can make time for it. And if you do, have fun, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.